And we are live. How's everybody doing today? Today I'm working on the PC I built for a family member. I'm basically done building. Today we're going to run through some last minute tuning and benchmarks. I want to see how the system competes with my own personal system. So, alright, if you're wanting to catch part 1 and part 2 of me actually building it, the links should be in the description on all the platforms where I'm streaming. I think I added it to all the links. There are YouTube links to where you can find me putting this system together. There's part 1 and part 2. Unfortunately, I did not stream well for part 3 of doing the installation of Windows and programming. That's a whole gong show that I'll explain that story once one of these benchmarks are running, because one of the benchmarks we're doing today will take about 15 to 20 minutes, and I'll explain what some issues I had to why there's not a part 3 anywhere right now. Yeah. So welcome to the channel. Hit that like, subscribe, and all that jazz. And before we get into the benchmarking, there's a few things we need to do to this system. Let's get right into it. Just making sure I'm set up here. I'm monitoring the chat for a change and the stream, so I should be more active to people on the chat. The cable routing here is bad. My keyboard is hooked onto my audio input and output, which is not good. Oh well. Okay. A few things left to do with this system besides getting it all prepped for putting it through its paces is I have not initiated the additional hard drives I have. So what I mean by that, if we click down here at the folders, you can see there's only one hard drive. And this is the NVMe. We did install an SSD and a regular hard drive to this system, which we need to initiate first. So we'll just get out of that. We'll go here and we'll go to manage. And then disk management. Wait for this to load. You must initiate a disk before Logic Drive Manager can access it. So it's asking what kind of style I want. Do I want a master boot record or a GPT? Now, for my for my NVMe boot up drive with Windows, I have it as this, the GPT. But for these other two drives, I'm going to put them as master boot record, because this important note down here, the GTP portion style is not recognizable on all previous Windows. So since these two drives, I want my family member to be able to take these drives and throw them in another computer if something were to happen to the system. Right? So this is like for storage. Like, there's a 2 terabyte regular spinning disk hard drive, which plenty of storage for long-term storage-ish. And then SSD of a terabyte. That's where we're going to save most of the important documents and everything, like my documents, my photos, that kind of stuff. The only thing on the NVMe, which is running Windows, is going to be programming in Windows. That's it. That way, if anything happens to the system, you don't lose your information. You can easily take the hard drives out, put them in another system. So that is why we're going to do a master boot record. So I'm going to hit OK on those. And we'll give these a quick format. I think it's simple volume. Um, what to name this? And I lost my mouse from my other system. Just dandy. 1 minute, people. There we go. I just honestly don't. I never thought of what to label this one. This is the SSD. Um, Labels can be changed later. I know that. Wow, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank of what I want to label this one. Um, I know this disk. I'm going to label storage. Um, because this SSD is going to contain documents, downloads, music, pictures, videos, that kind of stuff, right? Your basic stuff. Can I bring this up? Okay, this is my issue. I'm running a blank today. I don't know what to name this. And it's going to involve like documents, downloads, music, pictures, and videos are all going to be saved on this drive. Um, let's name it. We'll keep it as new volume for now, just because I'm running a blank. This one right here, simplify. What the hell? There we go. Have to let it do its thing. This one we're going to name storage. Perfect. So we got our local disk drive, which is Windows, a new volume, and storage. This will rename to whatever later. But the next thing I want to do is see all these over here. Links. We're going to link them to the new storage disk. So documents, right click properties, location. We want to move this. Oh, cancel. Cancel. Forgot to do something. On this, we need to make folders of each of these. So documents, downloads, Music. Pictures. Videos. So on the new volume, so this is the 1 terabyte hard drive, we made a folder of documents, downloads, music, picture, and videos. The reason why we are doing this is if anything happens to this system, the important information is on another hard drive. All that you have to do is take it out, put it in any computer to access these files. Because most of the time people keep important documents, project files, and stuff on one of these in one of these folders, so that way you can just take the hard drive out, put it in another computer, and continue doing what you're doing without losing any of your information, right? It's how I have my systems set up. That way, if it crashes, it's fine. Okay, so documents. Yeah. So this documents right here, we're going to go here. And on the left side, we're going right click, properties, location. We're going to move this location to the new volume and to the folder we call documents. Select, apply. Do you want to move all the files in the old location to the new? Yes. Okay. So now we click on here and we're automatically on the next drive, right? So let's do it on downloads. Move. Downloads. Select. Apply. Yes. And you can see the folder icon are changing as I link them, right? And this is pictures. I don't think my picture one worked. Oh yeah, okay. New volume, pictures, select. There we go. So now if we go into here, if we go to our new volume, and so we go documents, all the document files are there. So we moved the whole documents from the OS to the second hard drive. So that's done. What was the other thing I wanted? Oh, right. There's one more thing I wanted to do. And that has to do with the power button. So power options. This is definitely a me thing of what I do. Right now I had no time on display, no time on sleep. Change advanced power settings. Where is it? Oh, I guess. Because I'm balanced right now. Okay, maybe I won't mess around with this right now. Usually there's a option in there that allows you, when you hit the power button on your case, it shuts down Windows for you. But I think I'm going to set up that later. So let's ignore that for now. Okay. We are ready to start benchmarking the system. So I'm not sure if audio from the system's going through to the capture card. So I'm going to test that as this benchmark plays out. So we're going to start with one of the longest benchmarks. I think it's one of the longest ones. It's the PC Mark 10 extended. I think that's like 15 to 20 minutes. So we're going to start with that, and then we're going to do the regular YouTuber thing of running through 3D Mark, Cinebench, all that jazz. We're going to be doing definitely two sets of benchmarks. So the PC Mark 10, we're going to only run through twice for sure. Once right now. Well, maybe I'll get that going, then I'll explain. Let's get this going, actually, because I could talk while it's running through its benchmark. Let's go to benchmarks. We're going to do extended and run. Now we're not touching the system for a while. So we're going to run through this one twice today. One right now at stock settings. I guess I should have said everything's at stock right now. I have not done any fine tuning. Okay, the only fine tuning I have done is making sure my fans are on performance mode, because I don't know how well this cooler performs on the CPU. It's a 5800X. So, yeah. So I wanted to make sure that chip stays cool. So we do have our fans going, but that's the only thing that's tuned right now to that. My goal is to actually reduce the fans, if possible, to even standard. But I wanted to put this computer through its paces by running this benchmark. So this one's only going to be run twice. Basically now, and then once I know I got all my, I don't know, overclock settings is the right word, but tuning, like right now there's no XMP on, there is no resize bars on, right now there's no graphics card tuning. Oh crap, I should have really done that. Just think of it now. I don't even have the graphics card for this benchmark is just natively out of the box. There's nothing tuning. I usually normally set the fans on graphics cards where we get to the graphics portion of this. That isn't done, so this is fully right out of the box a PC. If you just boot up and load, and this is the performance you get. So it's kind of good because this is like right out of the box and no fine tuning at all. But like I just said, I really do prefer having the fans on to keep everything going. So after this benchmark is ran, we're going to go through 3D Mark, Cinebench, and I got a crystal disk one to test this bench the speeds of the hard drives. So we'll go through those, and then we'll start fine tuning. We'll turn on XMP. We'll turn on resizable bars. We'll go into MSI Afterburner and tweak the graphics card on fans and see what we can get out. What kind of overclocks we can get on the GPU. For testing purposes, we're going to overclock the GPU, but when I give the system to my family member, I'm going to have a less aggressive overclock on it, like just mild, to get a little bit more tweak performance, but it'll last a long time. Because this isn't a gaming PC. This is more of a productivity PC, Adobe and all that stuff. So really we don't need to tune the graphics card, but for performance wise, to see what the system can do, we're going to be overclocking the graphics card. The CPU, we might do a bit of overclocking, but really it's going to be more focused on undervolting. Because I want to make sure the cooler can keep up with the CPU, because this chip is very, how can I say it? Very hot. Like on my system, which is recording this and streaming this at the same time, same chip, and I'm water cooled, and I get about 40°C on water cooled. But from what I'm gathering from this cooler I chose for this system that's doing the benchmarks, it's keeping it like a 30 under 30, which is really impressive. However, I can't put that cooler in my system because my case is too small. So and it would cover the RAM. And on my system, I got nice RAM. On the system I built that's doing this benchmark, the RAM is hidden by the fan, so you don't even see the RAM. So we're drinking some red rose tea. I usually prefer Tetley in my spare change cup. I've been working on these cups and shirt designs for spare change, and I've actually changed a bit. Like the main channel is going to stay spare change, but on my cups we're going to put ways to spend spare change and have it very broad, because I don't like being put into a box. I'd like to be broad. And that's what all this channel is. It's about being broad. Broad on gaming, broad on how you spend your money, whether it's on computer parts, Xbox, that kind of stuff, gaming, hardware that is, in crypto, like why not, right? So I said at the beginning of the stream, part one and part two are on YouTube for anybody to watch how I put the system together. However, part three is not up on publicly. So I had some issues. There's nothing wrong with having issues and owning them. Um, I did record. I had to do it twice, and I did recordings. So I did try to live stream part three. And my issue was I installed Windows, no big deal. And then I installed the chipset drivers, no big deal. And then I went to install Windows updates. Now, here's the thing, the Windows I have on my USB, hang on 1 minute. The Windows I have on this USB, I made, boot drive, ah, I made like in 2017. So this is Windows 10, but it's an old version, right? So by installing Windows and then installing the chipset drivers, when I went to install the updates for Windows, it blue crashed on me. And it took about 2 hours to download the updates. So that kind of put a bad mojo, because it's like, oh, okay, 2 hours to update. What am I going to say and talk about for 2 hours? And then when I got the blue screen of death, it's like, great, there's an issue. So I cut the stream. I finished recording up to that point, and then I stopped everything, reformatted the hard drive to new, and redid it again. And the second time I did, I recorded it, but I did not live stream it. So I I might, and this is a big might, I have not been good on editing videos in the past year and a half. But I might edit and put it together as a standalone video. But I did record my installing Windows the second time, and then installing the updates right away after installing Windows, then installing the chipset drivers, then installing all the programs, and the system works, right? It's just because of how old my Windows is on this USB. So when I'm giving this system to my family member, I bought a couple SSDs. I bought an 8 gigabyte to put Windows, and I think for this one I'm going to do the newer version. So there is a link in. Oh, well, because that video isn't posted, there isn't going to be a link. Dang it. Um, I can find the link. I might put it in this video of where you can go and do. Right from Microsoft, they allow you to go and make boot files for Windows 10. So I might do a video on that. If I don't have time today, I might actually do a standalone video of how to find a legit Windows, how to make Windows on a USB boot drive. That way, if she needs to ever reinstall Windows, she'll have Windows. And then I got another SSD, and this is going to be the one that I installed all the programs on this system. I'm going to put it on here, including I'm going to move all these benchmarks programs, the PC Mark 10, the 3D Mark, Cinebench, all that. Everything's going to be moved to this, so it's not taking up any space on this computer. But if there's ever an issue, she has a copy to use and to test out, because who knows, in 5 years, if something's slow or something's hot, you run through a benchmark and you can kind of pinpoint where the issue is, whether it's graphics or CPU needs new thermal paste or whatever, right? That's why running through benchmarks after you build a system is really good. So you know where your baseline is. That way, if you have any issues, you know where the issues could possibly be if you know what is normal now. So yeah. We're just waiting for this benchmark to finish up before heading on to some more benchmarks. And nobody's chatting in chat so far, so I don't know if that's good or bad. So, oh yeah, I forgot to mention in um other videos in part 3 that is not up. I realized that I hooked up my fans wrong. So, how I had it was the top fan and the back fan were connected together on a hub, and then the three front fans, and one of the top were all hooked together. Now, why is this bad? Well, my top fans are 140 and my front and backs are 120. So they have different speeds. So I'm like, why are my front and back fans running so slow? I put them on the max and they were just running at 1300 RPM. I'm like, what the heck? And then I realized, oh, I have it wrong. The two top fans should have been connected together, and the back should have been connected with the front because there's a controller in the computer case to control, I think, four fans. Either way, I had a wrong configuration, but I could not reach the back fan to that controller. So I had to buy some fan extensions, just like this, right? So I could string the back fan to this controller, so now it's properly done. Hey, I'm human. I make mistakes, not perfect. Um, yeah, so now the top fans are connected to one header, and then the back fan and the front fans are connected to the control hub. And the top fans are running at 1300 RPMs, and the front fans are running at 1800 RPMs. Excuse me. I'll be right back. Not sure if you guys heard that sneeze through the mic. I tried to cover it up. I apologize if you did. Think I'm got a bit of a cold, but that's okay. But I'm more curious. Right now, this benchmark doesn't have any audio. I'm more curious if the audio will be heard on the other benchmarks. I really didn't test my setup for that yet. I really haven't used my Ava media capture card in a while. I really haven't streamed. The only thing I streamed so far since building my system in May is that live build of this system. So I really haven't done like through the capture card yet or not. So there might not be any audio today through the capture card. So the only audio might be me talking. Feel bad for you guys on that one, but it is what it is, right? We're just waiting for this benchmark to finish up, and then we'll move on to my other benchmarks that I like. Here we go. This is basic. We're getting close to the stuff I'm going to be doing, like the fire strike. So this is good to get base one. That way, when I run fire strike, um, again to CD mark, I can actually have the fans on the GPU on, and we'll see how it compares to this overall. We're streaming to 4 o'clock today, 4 o'clock Central Time, Saskatchewan. So, about 3 hours left to get all this benchmarking done. If I don't get it all done now, I might come back tonight to finish up if there's anything that we haven't done. Because I think we could get all the stock benchmarking done, but I'm not sure about the overclocking because and setting everything. Train on XMP, fine, that'll be easy. Resizable bars might be an issue because I have not done that on my personal system, so I haven't dabbled in that yet. But it's important to make sure to have done because, say, on my family member for who this PC is for wants to upgrade to Windows 11, you need to have resizable bars enabled now, which is weird, but okay. Like, technology is advancing, and on my system, I don't have my NVMe set up proper on my personal system, so I need to do that, and I'm really not wanting to do that right now. So this is going to be new on turning that on, making sure it works, see how it works, see if it actually affects performance on everything. I honestly have no idea. That part's all new to me, so. But I want to make sure it works because if my family member wants to upgrade to Windows 11, you need to have resizable bars enabled. Also, aim by getting the Intel Arc GPUs needs to have a newish motherboard that has resizable bars too, which is interesting. So yeah, and I'm thinking of getting an Arc GPU too eventually. Maybe I need to see the benchmarks on it, aka mining benchmarks on it. If the Arc performs as well as the 20, no, if the Arc performs as well as the 3060 Ti or the 3070, I would get an Arc over those. Right now, I don't. I'm pausing on what I want to get for a GPU for my own rig here. So I want to see those results. But that means if I get an Arc, I'd have to get resizable bars. And like I said, my Windows is installed on the wrong part of the hard drive. It's installed on the master boot record, like that we did for the SSD and hard drive on here. It's not on the GPT, which means I'd have to reinstall Windows. and all my programming, and I have my settings set and everything. So it's like it's a pain in the ass. That's all. So another reason to go through benchmarks is to make sure if the system's good, it won't crash, right? By doing all this today, if the system can do it, it means the system's good and workable. So how did we do here? Tens, 10,606. So I'm more interested. That stuff I'm not really interested. Like I said, this stuff is going to interest me more. So let's make this big. The digital content creation, right? So that seems all good. Gaming score. And let's just take a snapshot of this. Um, there we go. That's what I wanted. And we're going to save that to, let's create a folder called benchmarks. Actually, I don't want that in the pictures. Let's move this to documents. There we go. I want to snapshot this. And then I want to view results online. Well, this is a decent system. So I'm going to do this. Open my results in a new tab. As you can see, Kim's computer, right? So we want extended. Here we go. So I got them all labeled here. Main PC 2022 stock settings. So that's my personal one. So I want to copy that. And let's go back to hers. Let's edit this and switch this out. See, there we go. Copy, edit, update, update. All the memories showing up. My hard drive. Want stock settings. Average temperature was 63. And MSI is the graphics card. Okay, let's go to my results for a minute. Get rid of this. Let's compare. Okay, let's add to. Let's go here. Kim's PC stock settings. So let's add that one to compare. And then main PC. This is my main PC, which I'm streaming on. We're going to add that to compare. And let's compare these. Let's see how. So they're very close, right? We got. I bet you. I bet you would have been higher if I had the fans on the graphics card tuned a bit more. Um, this is interesting. Her CPU 4.899. Mine was 4.851. So this CPU might actually be a better one than mine. Now, why I say that is when you buy CPUs and GPUs, the chip, you don't get the same chip. Okay, even though it's the same chip, 5800X, it doesn't mean that silicon's the same. It's like a lottery. You can get one that does really well, you can get one that does good. Okay, my graphics card. Yes, this one's mine, right? Yeah. My graphics card average clock is a bit higher than hers. But not by much and not that big of a deal. Like, that's like, you wouldn't even notice the difference, right? And you remember, we're getting this number without XMP enabled, which is crazy. Like, average clocks are that, mine are that. Like, this is actually a good chipset. Even her temperature is reasonable, and mine is, well, mine's up there, right? Okay, that was the longest benchmark we had for today. Um, okay, let's hit X on that. Option. Order. Actually, I don't think I need a folder. Let's just delete. We'll put doc dash PC Mark 10 extended. And then we'll just save it there. Okay. Cinebench. So we got some old versions of Cinebench here. Let's do this old one first. So this is Cinebench. I think I just hit run. Dang, I didn't think I want to do this one. Oh well. I think it's the CP one I'm supposed to do. We'll do this one anyways. We'll get this one done. Um, okay, let's run the CPU. It's the CPU one we're more interested in. Let's see how well the CPU runs. Oh, look at the breeze through this like nothing. Yes. Okay. R15. Yep. We're just going on the CPU. We're not going run open GL. Remember, this is all stock. I guess actually I should be writing these down in a notepad. Save this under benchmarks. Um, so this is Cinebench R15. And we have 2624. 24. Save. Those. Yes. Go back to this one. My results should still be there, yes. So Cinebench R11.5. And we got 29.76. That way when we start tweaking, we know where our baseline is, right? Okay, we can get rid of that. Okay, sending back bench R20. Actually, I should really have hardware monitor open while doing this so I can see what my heat is. What the temperature of my CPU gets to while performing this. So I think once I run through all these, I'm going to run them, well, this one or the next one more time to see where my heat's at on my CPU. So this one is Cinebench R20, and we got 6158. Save. Remember, this is all stock settings. I have not tweaked the system yet. We should be able to get more performance once it's tweaked. And without any tweaking, you can see here on the left, we're above an Ryzen 7 1700X, which is good. So, the BR23, and we have a 15880. Save. Okay. Now we're kind of. Can I make this smaller? No. Just something like that. So I want to bring up hardware monitor. Because I'm going to run this again, but I want to see what my temps are. Because I've not looked at this really yet. So those I really don't need on. Well, that one I want on. Temperature of my SSD is about 31, which is fine. But I want to see what it is under performance. But especially the motherboard and the CPU. So let's run this again. Oh, look at my CPU. Oh, 80 degrees. Okay, yeah, I need to fine tune this system. Definitely, because oh, that's hot. That's hot, 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 hot. The voltage is 1.3. Voltage is not really going too crazy, but at least it's staying at 1.3. Uh, but yeah, this is hot. And it's about 4.6. 4, like these numbers are important because I should be able to get a 4.6 if I were to undervolt it and keep it at a stable um a stable megahertz. But yeah, that ran hot. Yeah. I'm definitely going to be needing to tune this because rendering this photo, say Kim, as you guys can tell, the PC's name Kim. So say Kim wanted to render a video. Well, we don't want her rendering a video for an hour at 80C. Like, yes, I know rendering takes a lot of the CPU. The CPU is going to be higher. However, if we could fine tune the system, we won't get that high result. Okay. So, okay, we're done that. Let's minimize that for now. Oh, did I write that down? Yeah, I got that. Okay. The next thing I'm actually going to bring up is MSI Afterburner. We are not overclocking the card right now. We are going to take auto off and we're going to okay, yeah, we're going to take auto off the fans and we're going to put the fans at 75. That way we can keep it cool. Like if I give the system back, the fans are going to be constantly a little bit on, probably not this high, but because I want to benchmark to see what the max performance of the system. That's what I'm doing right now. Max performance of stock and then tweaked. So, and let's just save that as 1. Okay, let's minimize that. And here we go with 3D Mark. Benchmarks. And yes, I got the new Speedway benchmark, which we'll go through. So let's start with plain old Fire Strike, and we're not going to include the demos. That way we can get through this faster. So let's run. Let's see where we get. If we're lucky, I'll be able to start tuning this system in a half hour by the time we go through all these benchmarks. If the stream is laggy, I apologize. I see I'm dropping frames like crazy. In order to reduce everything, I would have to put the stream at much lower quality, which I'm not really willing to do at this point. But the drop frames are 1.2, so I'm hoping the lag goes away. Because I really don't want to stop the stream to adjust it. I'm recording it, so if anything goes wrong, I'll just upload this stream later on in full HD. We're just running through benchmarks so I can do some tweaking after of the system. Pretty damn good, pretty damn good. We're above the average, and we gotta remember, I have not tuned this system yet. This is right out of the gate. We're getting above average. The XMP is not on that I know of. The graphics card is not tuned. The only way the graphics card tune is right now is the fans. So let's save. And this is and we're just going to take this part off. Fire strike. And let's add this. I really don't need to do this on this one, but I'm going to anyways. Um, 32. Because fire like 3D Mark will put it on my add it with everything else. So once I compare results, it'll be put into all my other results for Fire Strike. Oh right. This is what I want to label this, that's for sure. There we go. And let's go to 3D Mark. And I'm curious, so we're going to compare right away. Compare that one to. I want plain Fire Strike. I want my plain fire. Come on. Extreme, extreme. Here we go. Fire Strike. I think this is my main one. Yeah, this one. I want I compare to that, and let's hit compare. Oh wow, 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 wow. Okay, look at this. Kim's stock PC compared to my stock. She has higher, but why? 3D scores higher, graphics higher, physics higher, combined higher. Well, this is good results. It's like one system gets better, the other system does better. It's like back and forth, right? Okay, let's go to benchmarks. First Strike Extreme, turning demo off, and we'll run it. Well, so far we're getting like 60 to 70 frames. This is good. So far, I'm really liking the performance of the system. Like, it's right on par to my own system, so that is good. And it's functionable. It's not crashing or anything, which is perfect. Like, for me personally, when I build a system, going through these benchmarks, seeing something like the results coming very close to a system that I know it should be at, just makes you feel good because you know everything so far is functioning. That you know it's working. Like what else? What else can we expect, right? Like, because when you put a system together, I'm not confident, right? Um, I'm not perfect. I'm not confident. It's like, did I do this? Did I put it in right? Is it seated right? Is it functionable? You know, or sometimes like, is it dead on arrival? It's like you don't know anything until you go through the paces. The first pace is, of course, once you build the system, if the system boots up. The second pace is, does it run everything as it should? And so far, everything's running. So I'm really happy. And the system is very similar to my system in performance. Almost slightly bit jealous it's a bit better. With it not even being tweaked yet. Just slightly. But yeah, that's the way it goes. So we just finished Fire Strike Extreme. Uh, yeah, and I always save my benchmarks, and I'll put them in the folder on the USB stick I picked up. Like all this is going to go on the USB after that way it's not filling up this hard drive. It's only on the hard drive now for me to get all this done. Okay, we saved that. Let's compare online, and then we're going to compare it against my own. And the reason I'm labeling these is that way I know whose system's what, right? Like I'll probably keep these for years on end, these results, because I do with all my systems. Even my systems from like 5 years ago, I still have my results for. Okay, let's go to my results. And we want to compare these extreme against mine. Overclocked. Stock extreme. Here we go. Let's compare. And again, her system is kicking my system's butt right out of the gate. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, my benchmarks were from June. That's when I finished having my system all built. But still, this one's doing really well. Okay, let's get rid of that. Let's move on to the next benchmark. Ultra. Include demo? No. And while this one's run, I'm going to run to do a couple things and I'll be right back. So this one, the results is average, which I got a feeling is still just going to be as good as, probably better than my PC. Let's save these quickly. And I'm pretty sure this is Ultra, yeah. And then hit save. And then let's compare these online. You can see my RAM XRP is not even enabled yet. Okay. Add to compare, and then I'm looking for mine. As you guys can see, I have a lot. Oh, I should narrow this down to Firestrike. And I'm pretty sure it's on page 3, this one right here. Compare. Oh, finally we got some different results here. Finally. My system is not even a percent, like a tenth of a, like, yeah, that's still lame. For me, because this is my system on the right here, right? So this is the system I'm benchmarking right now. This is my personal system. So okay, let's get out of there. I'm pretty sure I saved it. Oh, I guess I haven't been doing this part. Well, let's just keep these for the Cinebench. Um, Documents, benchmarks. Yeah, we got all the Firestrike ones done. Okay, benchmarks. Prime Spy. Just let it run through this benchmark. It's almost time to get to some tweaking. I'm getting excited. Excited to turn XMP on. Once I'm done doing these 3D Mark benchmarks, I am going to run it one more time with hardware monitor running because I want to see what my actual temps are to see how bad my CPU is getting because it's been running, right? We've been streaming for about an hour and a half. So that CPU's been running. It's been on off and on with workloads, right? Like running these benchmarks. So I want to know how hot that CPU's getting. But run all these benchmarks first. So and I'll redo one of them just to test that out. So again, without any tweaking to the CPU, this is all stock. We're about at average. Oh no, this one's a bit under average, but that's still okay. It's still doing really well. Like, I guess I can kind of see the temperature here. Well, yeah, I got my GPU fan on. Do I have CPU temperature here? Uh, yeah, okay. CPU, you can see it's getting up to 75. Okay, let's save this. Get rid of all that, and this is times by save. And then compare. And of course, we're going to compare it to mine because that's the whole fun of this, right? To compare to see how close these systems are because they're both running 8 gigs of RAM, the same CPU, different name brands of graphics cards, so they're very close, right? They're very close systems. Um, okay, my results. So add, and now we need times by. This one right here. And again, her system's kicking my system's ass. Again. I'm wondering if it's on the GPU side? Yeah, well, it's on the GPU and CPU, because even the CPU score is outdoing mine. Well, that's good, though. That's really good. Um, okay. Let's get all that. Benchmarks. Times by extreme. So don't forget to hit like, subscribe, all that jazz. Not sure what I'm going to do content on next. I'm more of a person who streams when there's something to stream. Building a PC if I decide to do some benchmarking. Um, on my own personal rigs, there's a couple graphics cards I want to change thermal paste on because they've been running for. One's been running for 4 years. The other one's been running for 2 to 3. So I want to change the thermal paste on those cards. So I might stream that, showing people how. One's a 1070 Asus Dual 1070, and the other one is an Asus Dual 2070 Super. I want to change the thermal paste on those, clean those up. I might stream that, maybe. When there's something to stream like this, I stream. Building a PC, I've done it with mine. I think my last one from May is still on YouTube. I'm just very slow at editing things I record or stream. And sometimes they don't even get to see a light of day. So as long as I stream it, wherever quality, at least it's up there. See the good, bad, and ugly. I have thought about streaming weekly, maybe. I got ideas floating around with that. Maybe some crypto stream. I'm into gaming, crypto. All of that is enticing to me. Technology. Um, yeah. So I'm not sure, but I do have ideas of possible streams I could eventually do. We'll see. It took me so long to finally like get the system put together, and like this is a 4 part stream, right? I was really hoping to have it done much sooner, but life gets in the way. You have to go with life first, right? So this is definitely a hobby of me streaming and making content and making shirts, shirts or cups. They're not for sale or anything. I just messing around. How do they look? Maybe one day I'll open up a store with all these designs. And but it's definitely, all this is just definitely a hobby of how to unwind after a night of work, right? So on a podcast, mess around with Adobe Illustrator, make up thumbnails or shirt designs or whatever, or editing sometimes. Maybe I actually will start doing that, editing old content I made and posting it. But like I said, this is all a hobby. It's for fun. I just really love technology and playing around with it, building a computer. Even though it takes me forever. I'm not usually good with rambling, chatting, but yeah, it is what it is. And as you can see, as we get to these harder ones, my score is having a hard time keeping up with average. However, the system seems to still be outdoing my personal system, so take that for a grain of salt or whatever it is. So let's save. This is Time Spy, and then stream, save, pair, and my results. So we're going to add that to the compare, and then we're going to go look for mine. one right here. Stock. Oh, what do we have here? Looky, looky. As it gets more difficult, my system starts to pick up the pace a bit. But her CPU score is still better than mine. So I think her CPU is like one of those Silicon Lottery CPUs that is better than mine. So nothing wrong with that. But as we're seeing in the last two, like the times by my computer, my graphics card has been starting to just inch a bit off hers, right? Yeah, see, mine has a little bit more megahertz than hers, and that is starting to show its legs. But hers is staying nice and cool. Hers is staying around 50, 55C. Mine's around 61. So this is a good sign, though. It's all a good sign. Okay, let's get all that. Benchmarks. Okay, let's do Port Royal. Demo off and run. I'm all stuffy today. I'm not sure why. After this, we got one more no, a couple more benchmarks to do, and then we're ready for tweaking. So I'm going to say it takes about an hour or so to do all these benchmarks, which isn't bad. So after these benchmark runs, we can go play in the BIOS. A lot of people get scared when they play in the BIOS. We'll turn on XMP, we'll turn on resizable bars. Crossing fingers, no issues. I never dealt with resizable bars, so I'm kind of nervous on that, but gotta go for it sooner or later, right? Testing it out now, or testing it out on my system, is still testing it out. Like I said, the only reason I'm putting resizable bars on is if Kim ever wants to update to Windows 11, which I do not recommend doing right now, but maybe in 3-4 years, yes, you're able to. Now, why do I not recommend updating to Windows 11 right now? If you, it's basically if you like figuring out bugs, if there's something going on that, if you like troubleshooting, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. If you like troubleshooting, go for it. But if you're just wanting something stable, usable, everything runs at tip-top shape, then I wouldn't recommend it. Windows 11 is just still too new. But that's my own personal opinion. I'm not running it yet. Oh, this one's close to average. No, this one's above average. Perfect, perfect. Let's save this. Yeah. Save. And we're comparing it to mine. So add, and then there we go. Yes, that one. And again, her system kicks my system's butt. Not by much though, right? Like it's very little, like, so they're really on par here. Okay. One more benchmark to run, and it's the new Speedway. Uh, Run. And from what I can tell, there's no volume on these, so we don't have to be worried about that. But this is an interesting benchmark. And well, below average, but that's okay. Now let's save this as Speedway. Save. And then compare online. There we go. Oh, I don't know if I did a basic one. I only done an overclocking one of this one. Well, okay, we're not going to compare that because that won't be even, and this one's too low. Can actually delete that result. So I only have an overclocking on Speedway, not basic, so I don't like comparing overclock to stock. Well, I do when you're doing all of them, but not just this way. That'll be unfair. Okay. That's done. That's done for now. We're going to open disk mark and NVMe 1. Do it for 64. C drive and all. Now we're benchmarking my NVMe drive. The read and write speeds in the top should be similar to the speed on recommended. I think that's how it goes. I don't quite remember. There we go. No, either the second one is what should be recommended. Either way, they should all be close to what is on package. Yeah, these should be close to the recommended, and this is the actual performance compared to the recommended spec. I'm pretty sure it's 7,000 for this NVMe, and I don't remember what the write speed is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be 5,000, so that's fine. Read 7, write 5. So those are in ballpark areas. And you gotta remember we don't have XMP on. This is all stock. See, we hit 5,000 in actual performance. So that's totally fine. An NVMe drive seems to be running as it should, speed-wise, which is perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So let's go to default and then switch this back to 1 gig and then switch the drive to the D drive. Yeah, D drive. And this is the SSD. So let's run this. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be 520 read, 480 write. But this is a WD green, so I'm not 100% sure what the read and write speeds are. Or it could be, but still, that seems within in the reasonable area of what I'm thinking, right? But this is estimated, and this is actual. Okay, we're a bit lower, but it's a WD green, so it's not like a WD blue, which gets a bit more performance, but not much. We're talking about little bit, and then we'll do the E drive, which is the hard drive. But everything is looking pretty damn good. Just waiting patiently for this to get done. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to do the mechanical hard drive right now because I want to get some tuning done before 3 o'clock so I can run through all these benchmarks one more time. Okay. I just wanted to make sure everything is looking pretty damn good, and it is, so. Perfect. Okay. Now we're going to do some tuning. So first thing I'm going to do is go to the video control panel. There's some stuff here in Windows we can do. I think it's, yeah, 3D apps. I am looking for this right here, power management mode. Prefer max performance. Apply. Give me all my performance. Um, physics. We'll keep that on auto. Okay, that's done. Is there anything in the Windows I'm wanting to do? I think there's one more thing. Power management thing I was trying to do earlier. Okay, change. Here we go. High performance. I'm going to keep that like that for now. And does this have my power button? I'm going to have to see where my power button is. Oh, here we go. No, and that's not it. Huh. There used to be a setting here, you hit the power button and it would turn off your computer. Okay, we'll just save those settings. Okay. We are going, hang on. Where do I look for resizable bars? Oh, okay. Let's try going to BIOS, and I'm hoping I can capture it. I should be able to capture it. So let's go to BIOS, and let's go do some tweaking. I'm hitting the delete button so I can get into BIOS. Okay, here we go. So we're going into the overclocks. We're going down here. Oh, no, not that one. Load XMP settings. There we go. And then trying to remember. Disable. And then enable. And then enable. Because we got resize bars. And let's just see if I can get this to boot. And we'll go from there. Crossing my fingers. Because on my personal system, it just boots right back into BIOS. Oh, and we're loading the windows. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Wow, okay. When I enabled resizable bars on my personal PC, it went straight, was looping back into the BIOS. So for anybody who's having that issue with resizable bars, make sure your Windows is installed on a GPT portion of your hard drive. So, perfect, perfect, perfect. Let's check out a few things. Nope, sorry, wrong one. I want CPU Z. Continue. CPU Z gives me all the stats for my system, right? And this is what I was looking for right here, making sure my XMP is on, which it is. Perfect. Okay. Um. Oh, I forgot to run 3D Mark and look at my temps. Okay, so we're going to do this right now. And then let's bring up hardware monitor. Because we're in the tweaking phase, so we're going to do a benchmark in 3D Mark, but we're going to delete the results after because it's not a result we're looking to save. It's a result we're looking to check on temperatures, so I can see what to tweak my CPU at. And apparently there's a bit of an update, so we'll let it do its thing. And Steam is ruining my flow. Okay, benchmark. We are just going to do. Oh, let's just do times by extreme. Okay. We actually want to put it in window mode. Where do I find window mode again? Custom run, there we go. Enable window mode. Because I want to see my CPU temps. Okay. One. And as it's doing that, I'm looking to see if I can figure out how to make sure resizable bars are enabled. As you can see, my max temp was 74, and we're running about 42 running this benchmark. My CPU clocks they go from 3.7 to 4.8 about. 51. Yeah, I'm going like lock my voltage. I think. Like undervolt the CPU. Just to be on the safe side. I don't want any issues with it. I took a snapshot of my computer. And I have a limit on myself. I have a half hour to get all these tweaks done. Ooh, I'm up to 80. Yeah, we are definitely going to undervolt the CPU just for peace of mind. But still, the CPU is doing way better than my system. My system's water cooled, but still, for that peace of mind to keep everything cool, I'm going to undervolt this thing. Now, I was looking for a photo of my because I took a picture of my BIOS. Okay, that's fine. I was just basically doing that one for temperatures. My results, and we want delete the results. Okay, let's get out of all this. Now I want to go to. I want to see if my resizable bars are enabled. Resizable bars, yes, are enabled. Okay, done. Okay, perfect. Okay, we're going to go back into BIOS. And then we're going to go back into the BIOS and we're going to fine tune the CPU. Okay. Overclocks. So I have a screenshot of my personal settings on my computer, which I'm using as a ballpark for the system of a starting out point. and so I know what I did when, because it's not like it's something you do all the time. So CPU frequency and voltage change. So we're going to put that to manual. So we're going to do right off the bat 4400, and then we're going to do 1.2 right off the bat. And let's save that and see if we can load into Windows. I think that's going to be safe. My system's 1.2 at 45 megahertz. Okay, we're booting. We're booting into Windows. Okay. And this is where Cinebench comes in handy. Actually, let's do 23. And let's bring up my hardware monitor. Now, what are we looking for? We're looking on this side. We can see it's about 1.1. I thought I had 1.2. Locked at 1.2. Interesting. And you can see we're at 4.3. We're able to boot. Let's see if we can run a successful test here. Right now we're doing tweaking. We're not doing anything much more than tweaking. We're just making sure we're not going to crash while we do these tests. So if this runs successfully, we're going to I'm curious. What was our documents benchmarks? This is our 23. We're getting less performance than before. Because we are, I guess, slower, right? Because we reduced it to 4.4. We reduced it for 4.4 gigahertz. Okay, so 4.4 gigahertz at 1.2 volts works. So let's restart. And let's go up to 4.5. Let's go up to 4.6. I got a feeling 4.6 is actually going to be the sweet spot of this chip. I think mine can only do 4.5, but I think this chip is a bit sweeter spot than mine. So let's do 4600. That'll give us a 4.6 gigahertz. We'll leave the voltage at 1.2, and then we'll see how this does. We're able to put wow, words. We're able to boot at 4.6. I could not boot at 4.6 on my CPU. So this CPU is like a good one. Let's see if we can run that Cinebench. Because if it can't run Cinebench, it can't be stable. And again, let's bring up hardware monitor. And something else I was beginning to look at. I was beginning to look at the temps. Okay. Let's start this. And temperature's about 60. 1.15. Like, this seems lower than my computer, really. It really does. Like, I have it at 1.2, but this is not showing 1.2, it's showing 1.1. And it's running at 4.5. Like, this is really good, actually. But it seems like my performance keeps on going down. Well, we only got to 64. I'm really curious about something. Oh, wrong mouse. I'm curious about something. So, we're going to switch it to the screen. This is my computer. This is my personal computer streaming right now. Now I'm curious about something. Okay, so I guess 1.18. Okay, CPU V core 1.2. This is what I need to look at up here on this other system. Okay. Because for me, I'm seeing it seems pretty low. So I have to switch displays. $1.18. Something does not look right here. Well, maybe because I'm using my computer for streaming, that's why it's like at its max one. Okay, hang on. I got this. I'm overthinking shit. 1.2 max, but the system isn't really being used right now. So let's run this again. 1.1. So this is not really going up to 1.2, which is interesting. This is interesting. I'm able to run at 4.6, which is amazing. 1.25. And then I'm going to do 4700. So I'm raising this a little bit because I'm testing something. And then I want to see if 4.7 boots. Wow, we're booting at 4.7. Dang, this is a good chip. Okay, let's run Cinebench again. We're around 70. That is a lot better than 80. And I don't have my fans on the highest either. Wow, 16.1. This is a nice CPU. Oh, I have to test it. I really have to test something. Can the CPU go to 4.8? My system can't go to 4.5. Can't go above 4.5. So this chip is a really good chip. Uh, let's do 4800 and let's do 1.2. If I can get 4.8 on 1.2 volts, whew, that'll be sweet. Let's see if it boots. Oh my god, it's booting. We're definitely going to be putting it through its paces. Oh, we crashed. We cannot do. We cannot do 4.8. Well, that sucks, but I get it. 4.7 is still pretty damn good. I can't complain. That's still more so than mine. But I tried it on 1.25 volts, so let's see if it works on 1.2 volts. But still, this a chips does better than mine. For CPU, whew, kind of jealous. But you can't Silicon Lottery, right? You can't pick what CPU is going to be better than next, even if it's from the same. Like it's a 5800X, but silicon is silicon. Gold is gold. No gold is the same. Start this. Yep, this seems to be working fine. All this looks to be fine. Get about 63. So I like that. It's a lot better than 70. As long as I can run all my benchmarks on this, it'll be fine. So my Ryzen 7 5800X almost runs as fast as a Threadripper 1950. Like very little in between them. Okay. That seems to be all fine and dandy. So we have XMP enabled. We have our CPU tweaked. We undervolted to 1.2. That way it's consistent 1.2 all the time. And our CPU's at 4.7. So we're going to go through all the benchmarks again after I tweak my graphics card. So we're going to graphics card tweaking now. Where's MSI? There we go. Okay. We got fans at 75%. We got power at 100. Oh, I can only go up to 100? Oh, okay. And actually, we're taking a quick break and I'll be right back. I need to do a couple things. Hey, I'm back. Let's get this done. So, Okay. I am quickly going to go see what. I'll take you guys with me. Let me switch. Where's my mouse? Okay, that's that mouse. I hate losing my mouse. Let's get rid of this and let's go see what my current overclocks on my graphics card is as a base point. So on my graphics card I got 140 at 1500. So we're going to use that as a base point for this. Yeah, that's my 37 Ti. Okay, we're going to use that as a base point for this one. Okay, so I said 140. Let's do 140 and 1500. And let's hopefully this doesn't crash. Because these are what I have on my computer, right? So the system's good. Like her CPU is good, but I don't know if her graphics card is as good as mine. It could be. Okay. Let's do. We're just doing regular time spy. And let's just run. We're just seeing if it crashes or if we get artifacting or something to see whether this card setting's a bit too much or not enough. Do a couple rounds of this until we get just tweaked just right. And then we'll run through the whole benchmarking scheme again. And that was too heavy of a. Apparently, those. Did it reboot the whole system? I think it rebooted the whole system. Yep. Well, that was too heavy of a overclock, apparently. Um, yeah, it rebooted the system. That was too heavy of an overclock. Well, that didn't work. But I wonder if it's a CPU. Okay, let's try this one more time. We need to, because I really did not run it. So let's go to number one. So right now we just got the fans. We didn't really test the CPU on this yet. So it could be because of the CPU overclock or vaulting I did, right? I guess I should run through a time spy one before overclocking the GPU to make sure it ran. Oh well. Because it could be the CPU that caused that crash. So time spy. Let's see if. What? Speedway? Did I hit Speedway? I hit Time Spy. Okay, I did hit. Well, that was weird. But it seems like this is running, so I did have too heavy of an overclock for that graphics card. So so basically, what I'm figuring out, the settings I put in for the graphics card are my settings. So her video graphics card is less than mine, but yet her CPU is better than mine. So yeah, at least they're both not better than mine, because that would suck. This gives me confidence that I just had too heavy of a overclock. I'm too busy like leaning down. I can have my mic up so I'm not like bending towards it. There we go. So my head's up and not down because I'm like, ah. Oh, I wonder if my motherboard reset actually. Now I'm thinking when it shut down, I wonder if the BIOS resetted. Oh, we'll double check everything in a minute. I got 1 hour left. The final hour. I'm not sure why it's saying writing Speedway benchmark when it isn't. That's 3D Mark's issue. I'm gonna be deleting this result anyways because everything's not tuned yet. Oh no, I'm at. I still got my settings. Yeah, everything's still tuned the way it should be. Definitely my overclock was too heavy. So let's hit delete on that. Get out of there. Benchmarks. Okay. This is where I had it at. So let's put this down to 100. And let's put this down to 1,000. And we'll save that as number 3. Let's see if that helps. Time spy and run. Well, at least it didn't crash on me. So after this run, we'll just do the core. And then if we can move that up to maybe 120. We know 140 can't, but if we can do it 120, we'll do that next. And then after that, we'll move the memory cup to 1200. No, 12,000. And we'll see how that does. And then this is pretty much all tuned. And then we'll run through the benchmarks quickly. We're going to run through the benchmarks much quickly than we did before. We're not going to really stop and compare. We are going to put the label them though, but we're not going to compare them. I'll put the links in the description if you guys want to go in and compare the results. I might do one or two compares, but I'm running out of time. I got plans at 4, so we got less than an hour left to get all this benchmarking done. Ooh, look at that. That's a nice score. Way above the average. And it ran perfectly. So let's tweak this. Let's move this up to 120. We'll apply. We'll save that. And then we'll just give that a go. We'll just run the benchmark again and see how that does. To make sure you have a stable overclock, you have to run through all the benchmarks because each benchmark has its own thing, right? So right now I'm just testing on Time Spy, but eventually if we get to Port Royal and it fails, well then we'll have to dial back the overclock, right? So it's all good until it crashes somewhere along, and then once you get to where it doesn't crash amongst them all, you're more likely to have a stable system right down from the CPU graphics card. As long as you're not getting artifacting, crashing, and you're getting good performance each time, you should be good to go. But the graphics card is only being overclocked for these tests. I do not plan on overclocking the graphics card heavily. Like right now, I'm going heavy to see the most performance the system could do. But I'm going to fine tune it lower when I give the system to Kim because I, for me as an enthusiast, overclocking is fun. I know how to go through the details of if something crashes later on. For her, she just wants a stable system. So I'm going put a small overclock, probably the 1,100 seems to be that sweet spot. That way, it functions and she gets all the performance that she could get out of the system which she paid for. Um, Bang for buck, right? No point in not enabling this little bit of overclock when the free performance is there. Actually, I'm actually considering stopping the stream tonight now and restreaming tonight to get all these overclock because I'm looking at the time. It's almost a quarter after and I'm not done tweaking. So we're going to finish tweaking the system. Actually, I want to see something. Wait, compare results for a minute. Pretty sure I left my last results up. Oh, yeah, it's still an improvement. As long as this number's going higher as I'm tweaking, it's good. Because once this number starts going lower my tweaks, then you're losing performance for no reason. So we're going to finish tuning the system, and then we'll do another stream of all the overclocks. Because I don't want to rush and go through it, because I like stopping and comparing each result, right? So let's finish tuning the system, and then we'll be done for now, and then I'll finish streaming tonight. Okay, 120. Uh, let's do 130. Oh crap! I did the wrong thing. Let's stop this bench. Oh, it's not going to stop it. So let's do 130. There we go. 130. Save there. Yeah, I know. Okay. Run again. I don't like rushing because it's fun, like to compare results and stuff. And Time's getting low, so it's like, why not finish streaming it tonight? Because tonight's stream should only take an hour. Well, we seem to be passing these benchmarks. I'm just wondering if my memory overclock was too high, because the core clock seems to be handling it just fine. Hmm. Because this estimated game performance isn't showing up, I'm wondering if I'm going a bit too hard. So let's do 125 on that, and let's do 1200 on that. Because we know the core clock is stable at 130. So we're going to dial that down just a tad. And then we're going to increase the memory clock to 1200 and see if it runs. Because I was able to do 130. We know 140 the system crashed, right? So, and 130 we're not getting the estimate frames. So I'm thinking that might be a bit too high. So we're going to go 125 and see how that does. And then we bump the memory clock up. Because we know we don't crash at 130. And there's no artifacting or anything yet. Oh, there we go. How bad is this crash? Okay, this is a memory clock crash. And it crashed my system? I think it crashed my system. So definitely the mem clock can't really tweak. I might keep it just at 1,000. I'm waiting for the system to boot. Yep, it booted. Dang it. That mem clock. Well, that sure really messed everything around. Interesting. So this is a bit too much, so I don't think we're even going to be able to do 11,000. I really don't. But this is surprised me because we can't even go up to the max power is 100, and on my Asus, my computer is 120. So it doesn't surprise me, right? If anything, my mem clock I might have to keep at 1,000, and that's fine. But I'm pretty sure my mem clock is causing the crash. So I wonder if my core can go way up. Well, if it crashes again, because right now I knocked the memory clock down another 100, so we're at 1,100. And if it doesn't pass this, then I'm just keeping the memory core clock at 1,000 and not even going to tinker with it anymore. And then focus on the core clock, because the core clock we went up to 130 with no issue. So I really wonder if I can push that core clock up higher. Let's see if this crashes. Okay, yeah, I got fans going. And as for time wise, I am running out of time, so I'm not going to be able to get through all the benchmarking done. So we're just going to finish up tuning this system, figuring out what the best core and memory clock is, and then the tuning's done. We have XMP enabled, we have resizable bars enabled, um, we have our CPU tuned, and this is running, which is good. But to make sure it runs perfect, yeah, not feeling totally confident. Well, this seems to be running, which is good. But I won't be totally confident until I go through all of them, right? That's how you know you got a stable system going through each thing. I might throw a stress test on tonight. We'll see. But I definitely think I want to put up the core clock on here. Might have to do some more fine tuning tonight if we come across anything. Okay, I think this is a lower score. Your results online. My results. Yep, it's a lower score. So so uh, 1,030 seems like a good spot. Like I shouldn't go with over 1,000 on memory clock. Yeah, because I'm even lower than my previous ones. Like I'm almost down here at the bottom where we started overclocking, right? So 1,000, and then okay, yeah. Okay, let's run this one more time. And again. And then we'll see if we can bump it up to 140, 150. Because it's the memory clock that was causing the crash, I'm pretty sure. So the memory on this um the memory on this card can only go up to 1,000. Because at 1,100 I'm starting to get um less performance than when it was at 1,000. That's not good, right? You don't want less performance, you want more. Yeah, this MSI card seems to have low memory clock, but seems to have a good core clock, almost on par with mine. So it's just the memory that's a bit slower than mine. I wonder with the next no with the next one. I think tonight we'll check to see where I'm throttling at. What's causing my performance? Because if you open GPU Z, it will tell you whether it's power related. If it's power related, there's nothing I can do because I have the max amount of power going to the card. But we're not artifacting, we're not crashing, so that's good. Okay. Let's see if we can move this up to 140. We got the estimated performance, so that's good. When this disappeared, I knew I was like going too, it wasn't being accurate. Having this information means you're still within that sweet spot of. So let's run again. I'm at 140 on the core, and 1000 mem. And we're still running, we're not crashing yet, which is good. So it was never my memory clock. It wasn't never my core clock, it was my memory clock that was causing the crash. Wish I could have got that memory clock up a bit more, but at least I'm getting my core clock on par with my card, which is nice. But if you look down at the frames, you can tell it's almost staying very consistent around those frames, right? Which is good. Still looking pretty good to me. I wonder if I dare put it up to 150. I wonder if I can get 150. Or should I just go hard and go 160? I'm all about go hard or go home. Yeah, we're gonna go on the next round. We're gonna go 160 and see if we can make it crash. Because I got a feeling the core is fine. Okay, we're in the 15s. We're still going up. Well, we can delete this one. Delete that result. We can delete that one. And we're still above this other one we did. So we can delete that one. And we can delete that one. So until this starts coming down, but I think we're getting very close to that actually. But we're still getting this, so that's fine. Let's do 160. This is probably going to crash it. I got a feeling. I'll be surprised if it doesn't. I'll be happily surprised if this doesn't crash it. Uh, oh god, it's booting. And we're at 160 on the core clock. Oh, nope. Yeah. Oh, come on. Come on. Are you going to crash on me? Oh, we're still good. No, it's whether I can complete. It's not whether I can complete this run without a lower performance of the 215,000 score we got, right? So it's what 15,045, and then the other one was 15,039. So as long as this still beats those, we're still in a good spot. Because we figured out it was the memory clock that was causing the crash so far. So this card doesn't do well over 1,000 on the memory clock, which is fine. Ooh, look at those frames, 110, 111. Damn. Seems to be doing fine. We're not crashed yet. So after this run, I'm going to go to 180 to see if we can do that. I know you try and do 5 or 10 at a time, but hey, why not? I'm pushing until we crash. That's my goal right now. Oh, here we go. Oh, maybe not. 1592. That's still a higher score. Because it was 45 last time, so this score is still going up. So, and we're still getting this, so let's do 180 on the core. I'm curious, what kind of memory is it? I'm curious about something. We have memory in here. Okay. Okay. 180. Let's run again. And we're still not crashing at 180. Dang. That's awesome. We're going to jump it up to 200 next. We seem to be stable. Unless my performance starts going, I'm starting to get lower numbers. That I'm not. If this 180 becomes lower than my previous one, then I'm going to just cap it at 160. Oh wow, it's still going up. Because I'm pretty sure that's higher. I'm 99% sure that's higher. Yep. Almost 100 points higher. Wow. So times by was at 1406, and we're like 15, almost 200. Wow. We're bumping it in, because that's a huge gain right there. And we're still getting this. We're going to bump this up to 200. This 200. Run again. Has to crash sooner or later, doesn't it? We've been streaming for 3.5 hours. So I'm going to be wrapping up the stream shortly. I kind of want this to crash so I can wrap up the stream, but I kind of don't want to crash because I want to keep pushing it, but I want to go through all the benchmarks tonight. Not sure what to do. I think because we're at even 200 now on the core clock, I think after this run, I am going to stop the stream for tonight. Or for right now. And then I'll stream tonight with all these overclock settings, maybe tune it a bit more to see what performance we get. But I got stuff to do, like places to be. So yeah, this is going to be the last run for now. So if there's anyone in the chat, don't forget to like, subscribe. I've been benchmarking a PC I built for my family member. The links for the previous streams of me building the system are in the links. It should be in the description below. And we've been benchmarking the system to see if it stays steady, stable, usable, making sure everything works and everything's looking good so far. Comparing her system to my system, that kind of stuff is what we've been doing today. Fortunately, I won't be able to finish it today, right now, but I will be streaming it tonight. So I hope everybody comes back and watches or joins. I think we got decreased frame rate, or I could be wrong. But I was pretty sure I was getting 90s right here. So after this run, I'll be quitting stopping the stream. We'll finish up tonight. I don't know what time. I'm going to say 10 o'clock, 10:30, Saskatchewan Standard Time. And we'll go through the overclocking benchmarking of it. Because we did all the stock benchmarks. We just haven't done the overclock benchmarks. So we'll go through all that once we know to see if we have a stable stable overclocks. I have a feeling this is going to be lower. Yep, this one's lower. Okay, we pushed it too hard. We pushed it too hard because now we're getting. I'll show you. Compare result, but that result could be fluke. Results. See, this one's higher, so we're definitely at the threshold. So this was 200 on the core. We're not going to do 200. We're going to keep it 180. Okay. I'm good with that. So yeah, let's hit delete on that. Oh no, I think I want to keep that one as a reference point. Let's hit because there's a big jump. I want to keep that one. Let's get rid of this one. But I'm not labeling these. The reason I'm not labeling these because these were test ones. See, I'm going to label that one. So when we go tonight, when we come back to streaming, we're going run through all the benchmarks I've done so far in this stream. We do them, but with all these overclock settings to see if we can run through them all. Stable, if we can, good, and we'll compare everything. So that's why I'm keeping these just in case something isn't stable. So for all those who joined, thank you. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe. Hoping to be on tonight at 10 o'clock. Hoping doesn't mean I will be. Stuff happens, life, right? So, thank you for joining, and see you in the next one.